The 4.3 update is now live in Splatoon 2. It did add in a new gear ability, main power up. In this video, I will be telling you all of the effects that main power up does on all of the weapons in the game. I'd just like to thank Reddit user Fisherman765 for compiling this list. Instead of just putting in the background of me going into the weapon screen, the weapon customization screen itself, I thought I may as well put gameplay in the background. It will be more interesting for you to watch. Let's just get on with this video. I'm going to give my quick thoughts on main power up at the end. First things first, I think this will be a crucial gear ability to run. Maybe it could break the balance of the game. But let's just go into what main power up does to the weapons in the game. So for all duelists and for all rollers in the game, that includes variants of weapons as well. Basically, main power up increases damage. So for duelists and for rollers, it is pretty much damage up. Now, I am not sure whether if you do have more than one piece of clothing with the main power up ability as its main ability and the sub abilities match the main ability as well. I'm not sure whether that further increases the buff to damage, but yeah, I know a lot of roller users were saying that the damage was sort of inconsistent. I am not sure about that, just because whenever I have come up against a splat roller user, I always seem to get splatted in one fling, and when I do use the splat roller myself, it seems to be consistent in the damage. I am a little bit concerned that this main power up buff to the rollers, it will make the rollers sort of like how they were in Splatoon 1. They were very rampant in Splatoon 1. It kind of made me stop playing the game. It sort of made the closer range weapons in the shooter class a little bit unviable, because what's the point in putting 4 or 5 shots into a roller user when they could just splat you in like one time pretty much. That's how it was in the first game. Sort of like that in the second game, but I kind of feel like rollers were a little bit more balanced. But yeah, with this damage up buff pretty much, I'm not really sure what the balance of the game will be like. But yeah, I will be using the main power up gear ability when I do use the Kensor Splat Duelies and the Duelist Squelchers as well. All blasters apart from the Kensor Lunar Blaster and just the regular Lunar Blaster will be having increased shot accuracy when firing while jumping. I am going to be completely honest and say that I do find it quite annoying when I do come up against blaster users and they are bunny hopping all over the place. It is a little bit annoying. It is like Splatoon does have rabbits as its main character. If you didn't know, Nintendo did look into Splatoon having rabbits as the main characters before they did decide to go with squids. So yeah, I'm not really sure whether I am a fan of that change. In terms of what main power up does to the Lunar Blaster and the Kensor Lunar Blaster, they will have increased high damage radius of explosions. All sloshers apart from just the regular slosher and the hero slosher will have increased ink coverage. Now, I'm not really sure whether the Blob Blobber needed that buff, but yeah, all sloshers apart from the hero slosher and the slosher will have increased ink coverage. In terms of what buff the slosher and the hero slosher will get with main power up, you will get an increased maximum damage range if you do decide to run main power up. Why wouldn't you, pretty much? Why wouldn't you run main power up? All splatlings apart from the custom splatling and the Hydra splatling will have increased firing duration whilst firing in a burst. The custom and Hydra splatling will have increased damage instead. Let's just move on to the class that I do use the most, and that is of course the shooters. You do see me post quite a lot of gameplay of me using the shooters, so yeah, pretty much these weapons and the variants, I might not list the variants to these weapons, but it will include the variants as well. So the Neo and the Splooshomatic, the Neo and the Splashomatic, the Forge Kensor and just the regular Splattershot Pro, the 96 Gal and the 96 Gal Deco, the L3 Nozzle Nose and the H3 Nozzle Nose and all of their variants, and the Squeezer all have increased damage. Now, as a person that does use the Splattershot Pro quite a lot, I'm not really sure whether it needed a damage up buff. I don't think it needed that at all. Same with 96 Gal. That definitely does pack a punch, but the fire rate is a little bit slow. I'm not really sure whether those two weapons needed increased damage. The two aero sprays, the NZAP 85 and the NZAP 89, and the Splattershot Junior and all of its variants all have increased ink coverage. The Splattershot and the 52 Gal will have increased accuracy when firing whilst jumping, which is something that I do quite a lot with the Splattershot. The last change to the shooters is to the Jet Squelcher, which will be getting slightly increased range. Let's move on to the brushes now, and both brushes, the ink brush and the Octo brush, will be getting slightly increased movement speed whilst firing. I know a lot of ink brush players aren't happy about that change. I know ink brush players feel a little bit let down by the developers, seeing as they didn't get a Kensar variant. Let's move on to the Brellas now. The Sorella Hero and Splat Brella, the Sorella Kensar and Undercover Brella will get sped up Brella regeneration. So when your Brella does break with main power up, your Brella will regenerate a little bit quicker than without main power up. The Sorella and the Tentar Brella will be getting increased Brella canopy durability. And lastly, the changes to the chargers. So these chargers will be getting increased damage. The Splat Charger, Splatterscope, Goo Tuber and Bamboozler will all be getting increased damage. And lastly, the Squiffer and the E-Liter will be getting slightly increased range. So yeah, I'm not really sure what my thoughts are about this new gear ability. It sort of sounds like to me that this is such a crucial gear ability. Why not just add in those changes to the game itself without adding in a new gear ability? I kind of feel like, what's the point of not running main power up unless you really need another gear ability? I kind of feel like this could break the balance of the game. Now, of course, if any of this stuff is really overpowered with these changes, then of course, hopefully Nintendo will nerf them a little bit with future balance updates. But yeah, I'm not really sure whether this new gear ability is needed in the game. I'm not really sure whether it is worth risking the balance of the game this late on. I'm just not sure what to make of this new gear ability. I think they could have just left things as they were and just changed certain weapons that needed changing with balance updates. I'm not really sure whether the Duelist needed increased damage. I'm not really sure whether the Splattershot Pro needed increased damage, for example. It's sort of bringing back damage up to the game. I'm not really sure whether this game needed damage up to return. I know other changes aren't damage up, but most of them are. Let me know your thoughts about this new gear ability in the comment section below. I know a lot of people in the community are thinking that this could break the balance of the game, and yeah, I definitely do share those concerns. Hopefully those concerns won't come true. So that is it for this video. I've got plenty more 4.3 update coverage coming soon on the channel, but that is it, and I will see you next time, hopefully.